You see, the danger about lust, or the hypnotic power of lust, is it makes you do insane things thinking they're normal. And then we justify and rationalize. No, look, this is normal. For example, I mean, paying for sex. That's weird, man. I've done it. I've done it in the past. Look, I'm not a hypocrite. I wouldn't know what I know today, and my words wouldn't have any power if I hadn't went through the whole thing, man. So I know these things. But I'm gonna go pay a girl to take her clothes off. See, I never really liked the whole stereotypical prostitution. Pick the girl up and bring her to the room. Now she takes her clothes off. That is like there's no allure or nothing. I would go to some of the massage parlors in Asia and kind of get things done that way, because like my clothes are already off and the massage kind of just segues into something else, and so I could kid myself more. But it was still a lie to myself, and I later, of course, realized that, and it just became stupid, because it's stupid. Why am I going to go pay a girl to have sex with me? Like, how often is that really contemplated on? And I don't know, more funny than that, I'm going to like watch other people have sex? Porn. Like, that does something. Like, wow, I'm going to watch these people have sex. Like, how crazy is that? It's not a judgment. It's not. Look, man, being human means you're hypnotized, period. Period. Most people don't know they're hypnotized. We talk about this on the spiritual channel. Yeah, I'm not talking to them. I'm talking to the higher level beings that recognize that you're in a hypnosis by default by being on this planet, in this human meat suit. Okay? So when you're in that hypnosis, we're vulnerable to insanity, basically. Now, there's different forms of insanity. What we're talking about here, watching porn or paying for sex, like it's not such a big deal. In fact, man, if they didn't have prostitution, I think there'd be more murders and more craziness. So definitely people use that as a way to kind of escape stress, and like they would with any other addiction. But the difference between you that know that are you people that are more higher level is you can't use that as a justification to keep doing it. Oh, look, everybody else does it. Yeah, you want to be like everybody else? I don't. I never felt like I was like everybody else my entire 51 years that I've been here. So no, I don't want to be like everyone else. I'm not like everyone else. And some of you aren't either. So you start to introspect and look at these things like, what the hell am I doing? That means your awareness is increasing. You still might do it. You figured that out by now too, because it's a very powerful compulsion and tendency, this lust. And it takes a bit of time for your consciousness to override and dissolve these strong tendencies and compulsions of lust. But you will. Unconsciousness can exist in consciousness for that long. It's the people who aren't conscious of it, and worse, make excuses and lie to themselves about it. Yeah, they're going to keep going for lifetimes, possibly. So this channel is about trying to encourage those who are a little higher to keep going. And what are some other things? Fetishes. See, you notice how this keeps progressing? This whole dopamine lust addiction. You go from just watching just simple kind of, what do they call it, vanilla porn, soft porn. Then that graduates more into, more intense porn. And then from there, then you get your fetishes. Because it's like any drug or any pill. If you take it long enough, you build a tolerance up for it and you need more. You need something stronger. Well, it's the same with the dopamine. The body gets used to your regular release of dopamine. Now it needs stronger dopamine. So if you're looking at the fetus stuff, just take some time every day and try to bring that into the light of your own awareness, and just see, like, what the hell, man? Why? This is silly. God, help me. This is too strong of compulsion, because I can't seem to beat it. But at the same time, I know it's stupid, I need some help. And then go to these meetings I keep telling people about. And I wrote, there's a chapter in my book that I talk about that. You'll get, if you want to see my book, it's in the pinned comment. There's a website and you can see, and you can read a preview and see the chapters of the book also if you want. The meetings are a way, and they're free. The meetings is free. They empower you. You're in a group with other beings who also are trying to get free. It's some universal law, man. If a group of people are together in the name of freedom or getting higher level, there's some divine power there that will help you. So, because for those who know that this addiction is super strong and you can't get out of it, wouldn't it make sense to go get some help? To go to the meetings? I mean, hell, they even have rehabs. You can go to a rehab if you want to. Read books, listen to videos, go to meetings. That's what you do. And then you make your lifestyle as healthy as possible. That will give you more support. So you alter your life in a way that's going to give you more power so that you can overcome these things. And last but not least, you start to call on some higher power, higher than human power, to help you. If you're doing all those things as best as you can, there's no doing it perfect. No, you're just open to doing those things. You're gonna get some power. You're gonna get some help. Yeah, I wrote down worshiping. Me and my friend were talking about worshiping certain body parts. You ever brought that into question? Why am I worshiping the part that she uses to make urine? And I'm worshiping, and some guys, I wasn't a butt guy. Some guys, they worship the thing that's used to defecate. Wow, these are really important. You ever like contemplate that? Like what you're actually fixated on and worshiping? No, most people don't. They're like an automaton. They just the program. The lust activates and they go into it. That's dangerous, man. The dangerous part being that you just that you operate so mechanically that can get you, and people do get in trouble. You can end up in jail or prison or dead. You risk relationships with people. You can love your partner, but yet these habits on the side can corrupt everything. I knew a guy, he would justify saying, I don't cheat on my wife, but because he would pay the girls online, so technically he didn't touch them, but all his attention was on this girl online. And so they would watch each other do things. And then later his wife found out and yeah, he was done. That's the other thing. I don't know. Most women can't recover from that, I've found. It's almost better sometimes just to cut it, because I've seen guys that get tortured for years. Even after they've overcome, they're recovering from this addiction, they're not doing it anymore, but yet they still have to pay the price for doing it. Yeah, it's a rough one. But point is, that's another subject. But the point is, this stuff gets you in trouble, man. There's another guy, he was a lawyer. There's so many examples of this. Lawyer, doctor, spiritual teacher, whoever. But he was a lawyer, but he had strong exhibitionist tendency. That's another thing. Look, lust is lust, period. You don't know. Everybody has their own little form that it's gonna manifest and express. The mind will say, well, this is better than that. Yeah, but you can't control. How can you? That's why I don't judge people. This lawyer was in his car and he flashed an underage girl in the park or something, and then ended up, he went to jail, lost his bar license to practice law. He has to register as a sex offender, for the rest of his life. He's in they put you in the sex predator magazine. Imagine, that would suck. But how many times have you done something that could have ended that you just didn't get caught? This is dangerous stuff. The lust, because it hypnotizes you. This is what I'm trying to say. You don't know what you're doing. You think you know what you're doing. You say, I'm not going to get caught. You're totally controlled by the urge to do whatever your mind's telling you to do. And if you say, well, I wouldn't do what that lawyer did. Oh, it's only by grace you wouldn't do it. Maybe your obsession is to watch porn. You can't stop watching porn. Well, he couldn't stop being an exhibitionist. How are you going to... Just think, if your obsession to watch porn was just as strong to be an exhibitionist in the form that he was, what are you going to do? So get rid of this comparison thing, and thank God that your addiction's not worse than it is. But more important even than that is you recognize that this shit is dangerous, and you need to really start making a point to overcome this. And no, it doesn't get better when you get older. He was 50 or something. That's another trick the mind says. Oh, when I get older, I'll just grow out of it. Man, the mind's tricky. It gets worse when you get older because the habit gets stronger. All these countries I've been, if you go through the places where the prostitutes and stuff are, they're all 50 and up for the most part. It doesn't get better when you get older. You get older, you get weaker even. Then you just become a real slave to these tendencies. Yeah, I wrote here, it's tricky stuff, man. What we're really addicted to is not even the act. It's not watching the porn or whatever fetish, voyeur, exhibitionist, or whatever the fetish is. It's not the actual, or having promiscuous sex, or going to massage parlors or prostitutes, etc. It's not the act that you're addicted to. It's the state. It's like it's a drug. It's that altered state. When that thought comes, when that tendency comes to indulge in these things, you're in an altered state at that point. It's like your system's been hijacked. That's the hypnosis, and that's what we're really addicted to, and that's why you could end up doing insane things. Because it is insane. All these things I've listed, it's just insane. There's different levels of insanity, different forms of insanity, okay? But it's not sound. If you have a sound mind, you're not going to watch other people have sex. And you're not going to worship these particular body parts. And you're not going to go pay for sex. You're just not going to do any of that stuff. Why? You're just not going to waste your life force on isn't there more better things to spend your energy on? It just becomes common sense. But it's not common sense until it's common sense. When you're in that altered state, it's definitely not common sense. And then after they do all that, then the shame. You start to feel the shame and the guilt. Why? Because that altered state ends. You don't stay in that forever. So once it ends, it's like a little bit of soundness of mind returns. And then you look at like, where the hell have I been for the last whatever hours or days? I was like stuck in a trance. Holy man, what the hell? And then guilt and shame can arise. And then that's the feedback loop. How do you get rid of the guilt and shame? Go back into the trance. And people live their whole life like that. Imagine you're trying to balance a career and your family, and you got kids and wife, but you got this dark secret at the same time. There's a lot of people like that. Yeah, that would suck. I seen on the video, I've seen two in the last, 7-8 years. I remember these two. One guy was he was a grandpa, and he was at the water park, and he was on the raft, the lazy river, and people were complaining that he was like touching the girls. But he was acting like he was just kind of bumping into them, like, oops, sorry, oh, nice to see you. And then they had him, see, that's the other thing, they got cameras now. Everybody has a camera. You got to be it's even more risky. I had a friend, he liked, he was a voyeur. He had a voyeur addiction. But let me finish the story, because, I try to be aware when I jump too much. I like to tie up loose ends. I won't forget the friend part, though, because that's a good one. So they recorded Grandpa doing his thing, and then the cops came. And he's like, oh, I don't know. I was just going down the lazy river. And they're like, no, man, we see on the video, like, you're doing a little more than going down the lazy river. And they were staying at the hotel, and the grandkids like saw the police come arrest him. Like, the family was there, man. Imagine. And then it happened again with another guy, a similar thing. Point is, that stuff happens. Okay, so my friend, he had voyeur addiction. His friend, you see, he's lucky because this happened in another country. And in America, we talk about that sometimes, like, bro, you could have got locked up. So he was, his friend was staying in the room with the girl, and my friend kind of liked the girl, and he wanted to watch them get it on. So the other guy, like, he said, all right, I'm gonna hook you up. I'll leave the curtains open a little bit. And so then he was watching the girl. There was a camera. He did know. After a bit, at first he didn't know, but then he knew. And he saw the camera. And he didn't leave, because the compulsion is that strong. He was in the trance. When you're in the hypnotic trance, you can't leave. Some of you relate. Those who judge and want to talk nonsense, my moderators are going to kick you out, because this channel's not for that. This is channels for honesty and for vulnerability. You can't handle it, then you go watch something else. So afterwards, then he realized and then there was a situation. Something happened. It wasn't this incident. It was another incident that happened like a day later. So the cops came. They want to see the cameras to help catch this other incident. If they would have saw the cameras, they would have saw my friend doing what he was doing, watching And so they had to think fast. And the friend told the guy at the hotel the situation, and got rid of the evidence, basically. Now, this was a long time ago. My friend has since transcended that. He's worked through that. And this is the message and the hope. I don't care what you've done and how bad you think it is. All that matters is something ready to transcend it. That's all that matters. Those people who want to judge and want to beat, I said this somewhere, some video. You know how somebody's getting executed, like back when they had the electric chair or any execution, and then you have the people outside. They're waiting till midnight. So he's gonna get executed, and then they cheer. They're so happy. Oh yeah, you got me. These people that are doing that, they're future murderers their own self. To have that kind of hate inside them, at some point when you get higher level, you realize there's a natural compassion that you have. You realize these people can't help it. Now the mind will hear, oh, he's saying it's okay then because they can't help it. You see, that's why I don't talk to those people. They're not ready yet to hear this message because they can't understand anything. It's not that you condone what they're doing, but you know in your own life, there's certain things that you couldn't help, that you wish you could have, that you know you're better than that, but you couldn't help it. When you have that level of self-honesty with your own self, how are you going to judge what anybody else does? You understand the mechanism, how it works. That mechanism doesn't care like that this can get you locked up, or this is really bad, but this is less bad. It doesn't care. When you're in the trance, you're in the trance. So this is why I made this channel, because I felt, and why I keep making videos. You know, when a topic comes and it has some feeling to talk about it, you can tell this topic, there was some feeling, then I make videos, because it's important stuff, man. It's important stuff, and when you feel like you're all alone, stuck in this hypnosis, man, that's a bad state to be. Bad state to be in. That's why I say use the tools that are available to help bring you out of that. Good books, I got a good book. Good meetings, good videos, good company, good lifestyle habits, and some kind of spiritual practice when you're ready for that. All right, hope you got something from that. I'll see you.